Hello, Truth Tuesday. Welcome, guys. So we're going to be talking about expectations and how your expectations might be the thing that is getting in your way of success. Because when we have expectations, then we get disappointed. And when we get disappointed, we stop taking the same sorts of actions that we were taking when we were excited or before we felt disappointed. So let's talk about how expectations are getting in your way. So if you expect that you're going to make a certain amount of money in a certain amount of time, or you're going to have a certain amount of people purchase a certain amount of your product, or a certain amount of people join your group, or a certain amount of people respond or like or comment on something that you've created, and then you don't get that result, then you feel like a failure. You feel like it was a waste of time, that you didn't do it well, that this is not even worth doing anymore, that it's not going to work out for you. That is not the case. The case is that it takes a lot of testing. We are always testing. I consider everything that I'm doing to be testing. That means Facebook ads testing, doing live videos and testing, posting posts on social media. I'm testing to see what connects with people and what doesn't, what people respond to and what they don't, what they like and what they don't, what they will purchase and what they won't. Now, so testing helps prevent you from getting disappointed, but even looking at the programs or offers or courses or things that you're creating, the results of those, what the results are, you're always testing. We're always improving it. But I see very often, both with my clients and online, that people are giving up because they haven't received the expectations or the results that they really wanted. So I didn't make enough money when I was doing that. I didn't have enough people join to run that program. I didn't make enough money on that ad campaign, or I didn't have enough listeners on my live video, so I stopped doing it. The reality of it is that you have to consistently continue to do this in order to improve your results. You need to be consistently making amendments and making changes so that you're getting better results. Every single time you do it is just a step in the right direction. Now, one, people need to hear from you consistently. They need to know when things are happening consistently. They have their own expectations, so they need to know like what to expect from you. I just got off of a call where we were talking about blogging and why some blogs fail, and how if I go to a blog and you're not posting consistently, well, I don't know if when I go to your blog, I'm going to even find any new content. So then I just wasted my time because there wasn't consistently new content. If I'm following a podcast, but they're not podcasting and I'm not getting consistent episodes, then I'm not going to continue to listen to that podcast. If I'm a part of a group and the person is not consistently posting, or I follow somebody or their email list and they're not consistently posting, then I'm going to stop. Keep in mind that the people on the other end don't know what your results are. They don't know how many people watched your live video. They don't know how many people listened to your podcast. They don't know how many people read your blog post. All they know is that they are listening, or they're reading, or they're watching, or they're purchasing. So your expectations are preventing you from continuing, even though if there was one person who watched, if there was one person who read that blog post, if there was one person who attended your webinar, if there was one person who listened to your podcast, there will be others. So likely we didn't tell enough people about it. We didn't get visible enough with it. We didn't promote it for long enough. And just because we made some of those mistakes doesn't mean that we should throw in the towel and give up. Even if no one purchased your product, that doesn't mean that it's a bad course or a bad program or a bad product. It means that it needs a bit more testing, figuring out what's working, what do people want, what prevented them from actually purchasing, or what prevented them from joining your program, what happened that didn't allow people to move forward. So one of the biggest things that prevents people from purchasing or from joining a program or from signing up for something is that they have objections. So they likely either were like, well, I'm not really sure if this is for me. Maybe they were like, I can't afford it. Maybe they were like, well, how is this going to be any different from the programs or packages or products that I've purchased in the past? They didn't know the answer to those questions, and if they didn't know the answer, that's likely why they didn't purchase. So they might need you to help them move beyond the fears, help them move beyond those objections that they had to purchasing from you or joining with you. Now that includes if they've had a bad experience in the past. Lots of people tell me, like when they come to me, that they've had a bad experience with a coach in the past, they didn't get results, or they had a bad experience where they purchased a course and they didn't get results, or they didn't finish, or they just don't know if this is really for them, or there's so many objections that come up. So really sitting with those and saying, how can I address those the next time around? How can I address those the next conversation I have, the next live video I do, the next podcast I put out, the next sales page I create? So we're testing, always testing. And your expectations of how long is this really supposed to take are going to be the thing that either make you decide to keep going because you're getting great results, or prevent you from moving forward. So even if your expectations have not been met, it's important that you continue to go on and that you make amendments as you go, rather than throwing in the towel and saying nobody's watching, nobody's listening, nobody wants this, nobody cares, because that's when you're going to throw in the towel and say this isn't worth it anymore. The last part of this with your expectations is that remembering to trust that what is meant for you will come for you no matter what. And one of the biggest mantras I have around dealing with disappointments and dealing with when your expectations have not been met is that the universe has a better plan for you than you have for yourself. So when something doesn't work out, it's because something better is going to work out. So when something doesn't go my way and I have to change it, or for example, I'll give you like a concrete example. Sometimes I have a tendency to forget to record my webinar. And so if I forget to record it, I have to do it again. Maybe the next time I do it is going to be even better than the time I did it before. Sometimes I make mistakes in a sales call. Maybe I said something that I wished I could amend. I will make amendments the next time. I can always go back and say, listen, like that didn't go so well, or listen, I forgot to mention this. I can always go back, and in fact, maybe that time that I go back to them to speak to them and say, hey, I forgot to mention this, this, and this, that might be the thing that they need to say yes. Maybe they needed some time. Maybe they needed to connect with you again. Maybe they needed to get back on the phone with you. Maybe this program doesn't work out because it's going to spark some idea in you for something else. Maybe that program can't work out because you're needed for a big speaking engagement, so you wouldn't be able to run it anyways. Maybe nobody signed up for your webinar because you're going to need to be available to do a guest expert on someone's podcast or be interviewed on some TV show. So our expectations are us deciding that like it has to happen in this amount of time, this way. And in fact, sometimes it ends up working out, most of the time, better than we could have expected it to. So trust that your expectations are limiting the potential that you could be having if you trusted that everything is working at exactly the right time in exactly the right way that it is meant to. So trust that it's happening all for you, not to you, and that you, as long as you show up and continue to give your all and give all that you have and to share and to be the expert that you desire to be seen as, that it is happening for you. That's another point that I should mention. Like, you need to show up as the expert, not show up as the struggling business owner who's like, oh, my programs are not working out, or nobody's purchasing, or nobody's joining, or I'm not getting as much signups, or I'm not making as much money. The moment you shift out of, I'm an expert, I'm a badass, the moment you shift out of that is the moment that you shift your vibration, and that you repel people from wanting to work with you or from wanting to purchase your products. So trust and continue to show up. Don't quit, even when your expectations have not been met, because that means that something better is about to be happening for you. One of the things I say to some of my friends is, there's something beautiful on the horizon. Or I wear an arrow bracelet on my wrist every day, because an arrow needs to be pulled back to be launched forward. So sometimes when we're being pulled back by disappointments or our expectations not being met, it's because there's something better. We're being launched into something even better than we could imagine, as long as we keep going. So stick with it, keep going. Don't let your expectations be your guide. Let your trust be your guide, and know that you are on purpose. You're doing what you are meant to be doing, as long as you continue and do not let the journey break you down. And when things are not going your way and things are not working out, and you feel like, what can I be doing differently? Asking yourself that. Like, what is the opportunity here? What can I be doing differently? What's not working? What is working? Even asking people, what prevented you from signing up for that? What would make you want to sign up for it more? And taking those that feedback from people and adding it in for the next time you go about it. And sometimes the opportunity is that you might be able to adjust so that many more people, or that you're attracting a completely different set of people. Maybe it's the audience, and maybe when you attract those other people, when you make those amendments, that's going to be like the thing that you didn't even know you really wanted. So check your expectations. Remember that you're in the testing phase. I'm just trying to make sure that I haven't forgotten anything. Check your limiting beliefs. Believe that the universe has a better plan for you than you have for yourself. And if something's not working, asking yourself, what can I learn from this experience? What is the opportunity in this? And then trust that what is meant for you won't pass you by, and that it's this or something better. You're being pulled back to be launched forward into something even more beautiful. And if you are being pulled back by disappointments, and you're not sure how to move forward, and you're not sure what's not working, and you're not sure what's going wrong, but you are committed because you know that this is not going to break you down, make sure that maybe this is the opportunity for you to reach out and ask for help. I know for me, I can tell you for a fact that when I created what I thought was an amazing lead magnet, I thought it was so amazing. I created 5 decks of affirmation cards, and I thought, everybody's gonna love these. These are so powerful and so amazing. And then crickets, and nobody wanted them. Nobody was downloading them. Nobody was purchasing them. I was like, I don't understand. I worked so hard on these, and they're so amazing. Why does nobody want them? What I learned in that experience is that I connected with my business coach, and asking for help, admitting that, I needed help, and I didn't want to do it alone anymore, and that I didn't have to do it alone, I wouldn't be sitting in this position. I would not know any of the things that I know now, and I needed to be broken down and to be disappointed and to have my expectations shattered in order for me to feel basically like I actually did need to ask for help. Before that, I was too proud to ask for help. So I needed a little bit of breaking down to be like, actually, maybe I do need some help. And ever since, even just today, someone said to me on the phone, how do people learn this stuff without a business coach? And I was like, I have no idea. Actually, 2 people said that to me today. I was like, I have no idea, because I know that I needed to ask for help and to get some support from someone else Otherwise, I wouldn't have known what to do either. And so sometimes those setbacks, or even with sales, like I thought I was great at like selling, and I thought I was talking about things enough. I thought I was promoting my services. I thought I was visible enough. And sometimes it takes an outside perspective for us to say, okay, maybe I do need help. Maybe you do have a point. Maybe this is my next step. So sometimes when we feel like the things that we desire to do, we've been disappointed and we didn't get the results that we need, maybe it's time to ask for help. I know if I was not comfortable with unmet expectations, then I wouldn't play golf every day, because golf is basically by having your expectations shattered on every shot. So every single time I hit that ball, I wish it would go super straight and I wish it would land over there. But I can tell you that I'm pretty sure 99% of the time it does not go where I want it to, and it does not land where I want it to, and it ends up somewhere else. And maybe it needed to land right there for me to have a great next shot. Maybe the place I wanted it to land wasn't actually going to be good for me. So sometimes when our expectations are not met, it's because there's something better for us on the horizon. So this or something better. What can I learn from this experience? I'm testing, I'm amending, I'm not giving up, and I'm going to reach out and ask for help and trust that the universe has my back and that what is meant for me won't pass me by. So I shall speak to you guys soon. And if you are struggling with getting visible with video and getting your message out there and promoting your services and talking about your services and getting people to purchase your services, I am running my Quit Hiding and Get Visible live training tomorrow. So if you do feel like it would be powerful and maybe something that you could change about the way that you're doing things in your business, that you've been thinking about doing live video and you've been thinking about getting visible with video and you've been thinking about talking more about what you do, please do join me, because we will be discussing how to get visible with video so that people sign up for things, so that people want to work with you, so that people find out about who you are and you can be seen as an expert in your industry. We'll be talking about all of that on the live training. It's a great discussion where we talk about fears and self-doubts, and I'm going to help you guys do this in your own business. So I'll leave the link at the bottom of this video, but come join us and I will speak to you guys then, and you'll get more information on how you can make more money, connect with people, and be seen as an expert in your industry by getting live with video.